answer to the final answer to the question for the 9 to 5. The reason anyone is broke in the Western world today is because they are one of three things. They are either lazy, they are arrogant, or they are stupid. And if you're broke, you are one of those three things. I don't care what excuse you try and fucking give me. You're gonna have to choose which one you are. Because if you're none of those three things, it's impossible to remain poor in the modern world, in the West. There is so much money. I'm gonna rub it in for all the brokies quickly. There is so much fucking money in the world. I want you to, when you drive down a street, go to London, drive down a street. Every building's worth what? 20 million, 50 million, 100 million. If someone owns all this shit, right? That hotel's $1 billion hotel. That fucking restaurant's worth 15 million. You can take a taxi ride and drive past $1 trillion fucking pounds. Who owns all that shit? People own all of this, right? There's so much money in the world. During COVID, when everyone was complaining that they went broke, I made so much fucking money. You would not believe the amount of money I made. The amount of money that is traveling around and floating around the planet is ridiculous. We're talking about inflation being out of control. It's because they're printing trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. It has to go somewhere. Now, they try their very best to keep it amongst the elites, and they do that. But if you're anywhere near the elite, you get money, right? If there's a rainstorm, all you have to do is walk outside, you're gonna get wet. The difference between me and everyone else is I know where the door is to walk outside. Everyone else is just fucking floundering around in the room, looking on the floor for pennies, like a jackass, right? There's so much money. It's so easy to make money in the world today. It truly is. And the reason if you're poor and you're remaining poor is because you're the lazy, arrogant, and stupid. So we'll talk about those three things. The first thing is lazy, which I've already discussed. I believe 99.9% of the people I've interacted with in my life are lazy. And when I say lazy, I mean it in the genuine term of the word. They're lazy. They think that they come up with bullshit like work-life balance. Well, there's no point working if you don't enjoy yourself and all this other fucking shit. And they remain lazy. And the problem is that the world we live in is player versus player. If you go play Call of Duty, right? It's PvP. You want to live, you got to kill that guy. Yeah. He's some fucking 14-year-old in Singapore. He might he loses one more game. Don't care. Sniped. Boom. See ya. Had a nice life. Tangent. You're gone. That's how it works. Player versus player.
This is the most knowledge I've ever heard being dropped on this podcast, man. It's fucking nuts. I'm gonna walk away from this fucking thing and we sat there in the Uber on the way home.
Bro got sniped in
I'm not gonna
it's a harsh reality.
Tangent in Singapore is done.
He's finished.
So, but it's player versus player, right?
Yeah.
Now, I would like to believe in a world where you don't have to wake up and think about the money. Where you don't have to wake up and think about the bag. You don't have to wake up and think, how do I get paid? Where instead you could wake up and think, I want to enjoy my time. I want to spend time with my family, etc., etc. But the problem is it's player versus player. There are people like me. There are sharks in the ocean. If you want to stay a fish, you're going to fucking lose. There are people like me who wake up and think, fuck it. I want more. Don't give a shit. I already have everything I could ever think of. I already have enough money to buy everything I could ever dream of. I can't even think of anything on the planet I want. Don't care. I want more so I can take it from others. There are people like me that exist, and you have to compete against people like me. It's player versus player. So when I say lazy, my entire life is work. And when I say that, people think that's depressing. No, it's not. It's not depressing. I love it. Every single thing I do is work. When I go to the gym, it's so I'm in fantastic shape, so I can call everyone a brokey, and they don't want to come up to me on the street because I know I'll fuck them up. Work. When I come here and do a podcast and have a nice conversation with you gentlemen, work. I'm making money in between, work. When I'm it's work. So that when me and her go to the club, she behaves herself with all the other girlfriends around because she knows Big D. You understand? It's all work. Life is work. Existence is work. If I'm awake, I'm working. Every single thing I do is conscious. It's all done on purpose. Now, we're going to finish this podcast. I don't know what you guys are going to do afterwards. But you could certainly film 10 podcasts in a row if you wanted to, but you won't because you're fucking lazy. That is the truth. You can be the biggest podcast in the world. You refuse because you want to.
We're on that way.
No,
we're on that way.
Go home. You're not allowed to go home. Only work.
No.
There's nothing else. You have to outcompete everybody.
It's smart work.